From the Mount Washington Radio Group online newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. The superintendent of SAU 9 says there was considerable discussion Monday night about the proposed 2014-2015 budget for the Conway School District, teachers' contracts, and the proposed tax cap. Dr. Carl Nelson says about 150 people turned out for the nearly 3-hour Conway School District deliberative meeting at Kennett High School. A proposal to increase the budget amount proposed by the Municipal Budget Committee by $250,000 to the level favored by the school board was defeated, so voters will consider whether to approve an amount of about $33,849,000 when they go to the polls April 8th. If that amount is not approved, the default budget amount, about $78,000 less, will be in effect. Nelson says a proposal to increase the amount of taxes raised to 10% was also defeated, which means voters will consider Article 13 as originally written, quote, shall we adopt the provisions of RSA 32-5-B and implement a tax cap whereby the Conway School Board Budget Committee shall not submit a recommended budget that increases the amount to be raised by local taxes based on the prior fiscal year's actual amount of local taxes raised by more than 2.5%. Conway Town Manager Earl Sayers hopes for a large turnout tonight at Kennett High School for the town's deliberative meeting. He says it's an opportunity for voters in Conway to come together and make important recommendations and decisions about the activities and budget of the town. Meeting attendees will consider a proposed operating budget of about $10,142,000, a nearly 5% increase over the current budget, mainly attributed to increased costs of health care and police staff. Here's Sayers.
We start in the fall with department heads and we prepare a budget that's submitted to the Board of Selectmen, and then they review that over several weeks, and once they're finished they provide a recommendation to the Budget Committee. The Budget Committee holds several meetings, usually during January, early February. We hold a public hearing in early February. Once that's completed, the warrant is posted as a public notice, and that notifies people that they can come to the deliberative session to discuss and consider all of the warrant articles that are being presented for the year.
Voters will also consider capital reserve funds that provide money for town equipment, vehicles, and construction, requests from nonprofits totaling about $203,000, and petitioned articles, including Article 27, which proposes a tax cap. Sayers explains.
What the proposed tax cap would do would be to place a limit of 2.5% increase over the prior year in the amount to be raised by taxes, is what it's called. We have a certain amount of money we need to raise every year, and some of that's funded through other revenues, fees, and car registrations and things like that. And once we deduct that from the amount we need, the remainder is what we secure through taxation. So this limits the amount of money that we can increase our request for each year from taxpayers.
Conway Selectmen opposed the tax cap article, but it's recommended by the Municipal Budget Committee. Voter guides containing all the articles to be considered and other important information are available at the Conway Town Office, libraries, and online at conwaynh.org. Tonight's meeting starts at 7 o'clock at Kennett High School's Loynd Auditorium on Eagles Way. In Maine news, lawmakers say it's time to bring the state's courts filing system up to date and approve a bill that would improve efficiency and provide better public access to court documents. The Judiciary Committee held a public hearing yesterday on a bill that would authorize funding for an electronic filing system for the state's courts. A $15 million bond next spring would cover the costs. Chief Justice Lee Softly urged lawmakers to approve the bill in her State of the Judiciary address last week, saying the state's courts currently handle files the same way they did 100 years ago. The committee will vote on the bill introduced by House Republican leader Ken Fredette on behalf of Republican Governor Paul LePage in the coming days. In sports, 18-year-old Conway Olympian Sean Doherty has won another medal at the IBU Biathlon World Championships being held in Presque Isle, Maine. After winning 2 gold medals in weekend competition in the youth's men's sprint and pursuit races, the Portland Press-Herald reports Doherty won a silver medal yesterday in the final individual race. The Boston Bruins beat the Florida Panthers 4-1 last night, and the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Red Sox 8-0 yesterday in exhibition baseball in Florida. In the weather, mostly cloudy this morning, then becoming partly sunny, scattered snow showers today. Highs in the lower 20s with light winds, becoming mostly clear tonight. Much colder with lows 6 below to 16 below zero with light winds, and mostly sunny Thursday, highs in the upper 20s. From the Mount Washington Radio Group online newsroom, I'm Gary McKenzie.